Hey guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11, and today we're going to show you how to disassemble and clean a black powder revolver. What is the revolver that I'm going to be disassembling here, Squib? So my buddy Squib Load's with me today. He's going to walk me through the whole process. This is the first time, so go ahead.
This is a Pietta reproduction of a Colt 1851 Navy. However, it's chambered in 44 instead of 36, which is the original chambering for this. So everything is in the same place, it's the same dimensions roughly, everything else. But if you've already got a 44 black powder revolver, then you can probably use the same round balls in it.
So I just watched Squib here clean this Lamat revolver.
Oh, this is a Colt Walker.
The Colt Walker, I'm sorry, the Walker. Okay. So he took me through the whole process and showed everything off. Some of the basic cleaning supplies we'll be using for today is some Thompson number 13 bore cleaner, some Ballistol, some Dawn dish soap with a little bit of hot water. There is Slip 2000 black powder gun cleaner you could use. There's also Slip 2000 black powder gun lube. Variety of brushes. You can get a Thompson brush set, breach and fire channel brush set that we're going to use to scrub out the cylinder and the chamber and so on, the bore and so on. We've also got various bore brushes and stuff that you can see here. Mine's chambered, we said, in 44. Is that right?
Yep. So it's at the 44 guns are actually .451, 454, or 457.
Okay.
So this is a 45 ACP bronze brush.
Okay.
That'll work. Yep. This brush I actually got at a hardware store, but it looks a lot like the other brush. We'll go ahead and just take this one out of the package.
You said a mallet is nice to have for pulling the wedge over
to get
the barrel out. Okay.
And I'm willing to bet, since it's the first time it's coming apart,
it's going to be pretty tough.
I bet it's going to be pretty tight.
Now you said we could. This has only been a few hours since we fired this black powder revolver, so we could spray down with Windex if we needed a couple days to buy some time.
You would take a patch and you would run some Windex down the bore with a patch. The general rule of thumb is 24 hours to clean them, and if you use Windex to neutralize the corrosive residue, it'll buy you a matter of days. It'll keep it neutralized for a few days before it doesn't work anymore.
All right, so we'll go through the first step of the disassembly, and then we'll just get right into the scrubbing and cleaning. It's going to be pretty easy. All right, hang tight. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to tap on this right side, you said, with the mallet. Is that correct? Okay, we're going to tap on that, and that's going to cause this wedge to come out.
When it's new, it's probably a lot more difficult to pull the wedge out by hand.
Okay.
After you've taken it apart a few times, it should
just
break in where you can pop right out.
So when we tap it on this side, there's like a little spring latch here. We tap on that, it's just going to slide this wedge out, and that'll allow us to pull the barrel away from the cylinder.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Now you want to use a rubber mallet, a rawhide mallet, or a plastic face mallet like this. You don't want to use metal.
Okay, so just tap it a couple times.
See if you can wiggle and pull.
Oh yeah. There.
Does it come out all the way?
It will.
Okay.
It did. Is that okay if it does?
Yeah, it's okay if it does.
Okay.
Let's see if it. There we go. All right. That's
so
what I was. Sometimes the wedge will cock sideways.
Okay.
Or the wedge will look like it won't come out completely. It'll look like it's out completely, and it's not, and it's still holding it in because there's a slot in the arbor.
That's a very simple design.
Yeah. So the wedge simply just goes right through that.
Okay. Okay. Simple enough. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll take the cylinder off. Oh, pull back.
Half cock.
Okay.
Yeah. Should just slide.
Cylinder comes right off. Yeah. Okay. Now we're just going to use one of the brushes here with a little bit of hot water and some Dawn dish soap on the brush and just scrub it. Just scrub all around it. Scrub out the channels, the inside, everything. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And you don't have to have it scalding hot, but if you do have boiling hot water, that'll work too.
Okay. Yeah, I got it fairly hot right now. So all right. So we're gonna go ahead and just put a couple drops. Just coat this with Dawn or what?
Yes.
That's it. Okay. And just start scrubbing.
Start scrubbing.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and
inside.
Start in the top portion here. Your percussion caps are going to go. Okay.
And you can see there's a lot of nooks and crannies in there where the nipples or cones are, and the residue can kind of work itself in there. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you scrub it out real good and, pretty much, just like doing dishes.
Very expensive dishes, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go in the middle cylinder here and scrub a little bit. And go in each one of the individual cylinders.
Yeah. Did you get any soap down those?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
There's a little bit in there. Well, there's a little bit in there right now. So do I want to put soap in each one of them and scrub them out?
Yeah, or put it on the brush. Either dump it in there or put it on the brush, either or, whichever you want to do.
Okay. First time I'm ever doing this. This is brand new. It's the first time I've ever done a black powder cleaning at all. So just gonna sit there and scrub away on the cylinder. Just scrubbing in the cylinder here.
Yep.
Soap in each one. You know what? Let's zoom in just a little bit for people. There we go. All right. Much better.
Yeah, you want to run water down both sides.
Okay.
And when you have it, yeah, go in each chamber and just have it run right out the flash hole for each nipple. Yep.
Okay. There we go. It's pretty clean.
Okay.
So just go ahead and set that. You said now to let this dry, a lot of times you'll set this out in the sun.
I will let it sit out in the sun. Now,
Okay.
what you do in the winter, maybe put it by the fireplace or something else like that. But you can also dry it out with Q-tips, and that might get any excessive residue out.
Okay. So go down the cylinders here. All right, so it took several cycles of hot water and soap and me scrubbing through it to basically get it to where it is, and a lot of Q-tip action in there. If you can see any kind of caking or buildup, any kind of like frosted steel in there, you know, after you've shot, that's residue that needs to come out. We got some really sweet little pointed Q-tips here, and what are these called again? These are...
So these Q-tips are just, they're 6-inch Q-tips that you can get double head or single head with either the more narrow or the more rounded. You get them off Amazon. I believe the brand is Type 3.
So it's basically dry now. The cylinder is dry at this point, so we're just going through and I'm scrubbing and there's really nothing else coming off anymore. It's totally little teeny tiny bit, but that's it. But I'm not getting like any like mud coming out of it essentially at this point. So I think we're good. We're just gonna go ahead and set this off to the side for now. And what is our next step?
All right, the barrel.
Okay, so you got the barrel. Pull this. Okay, so hot water. So you start rinsing it off. Okay. All right.
Run it right down the barrel.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go. Okay.
And then soap and brush.
If I pull this back a little bit and kind of rinse that out a little. Okay.
Yep, because residue will get all over that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. So we're just putting a little bit of Dawn on the brush here, and I'm just going over it and scrubbing. You said that the soap is going to be kind of a brown color, right?
Yep, the first time around.
First time around it, and then the second and third maybe scrubbing and stuff. The water gets a lot cleaner, or
Yes.
the soap stays more white. Basically. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're just gonna start scrubbing it. That's it. Scrub away. Can I start going down the barrel too with this brush?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
If you happen to be working on a black powder revolver, that the brush is not long enough, you could just
Use the cleaning rod with
cleaner rod for your more modern.
There's a lot of factory grease on this gun too, since it's brand new. First time I shot it was today, and definitely want to really get in there. Full back area, just like that. Now I'm gonna actually go into the barrel. Let's get a little more soap here. Otherwise, there is a bore solvent that we had talked about earlier that came with my cleaning kit, but the Dawn seems to do a much better job. So the soap color is kind of a nice tan right now. It's basically a tan color, so you can tell that first cycle is done. So I'm going to go over it again one more time with soapy hot water. It's going to come out even more clean, and then we'll go on to our next step. So I won't keep it for the second or third time on that, but it's already starting to come out really good. I can see there's no residue on it right now. There's no grease. There's no powder residue, and this is pretty much at the point where we want to be at. We're going to go through it one more time. So, all right, hang tight. All right, so Squib here is going to talk to us about how we're toweling it off. Okay, we're just drying it off initially, right? And then you said that you can't, well, we'll talk about lubrication here in a little bit, but all right, so what's the next step?
So you can just take your regular rifle or pistol cleaning rod and put a patch at the end and run it down, and that'll dry out any water that's left in there and take any residue out. If it comes out pretty clean, then you're good to go.
Pull back, or should I not?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people freak out when I do that. I don't do it on most of my firearms, just so you know. So, because it brings crud back into the receiver.
Yeah, but look how clean that is.
Yeah, it's still the patch is coming off.
If that was coming out filthy, I wouldn't say do that. Look how clean that is.
I don't know if you can see down there. You probably won't be able to, but it is. There we go. Shiny, nice and shiny. There's no frosting in there. There's no caking. There's no residue. This is really hard to do in a reverse angle. So, there. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Maybe put that in there. Get this part right here too. Just kind of dry that out a little bit.
Yeah, anything to get the water out of it.
Yep, yep.
And then if you wanted to lubricate the pivot there for the loading lever, you could use some ballistol.
So we can put just right here, this little point right here, this little pivot point. You said put a little ballistol right there.
Ballistol there, or you can just slip 2000 gun lube. It doesn't matter. Okay. Something that's rated for black powder. Yeah.
So that's my job. That's my job. That's my dog. It's been a really long day, man. We were at the range today for like 10 hours. It was crazy. That's my dog down there drinking water, so he picks the best times to do this. So I'm gonna hit just a little bit of ballast on the pivot right here. Just right there. Okay. That's it.
Yeah, you don't need a lot.
It just sinks into it, just kind of turn it a couple times.
Pretty much, just work it in.
Do I need any in there at all? Let's see here. That second point down the bottom.
Oh, yeah, maybe just a little but
bit
not
there?
a lot.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Kind of work a little bit of oil into there. There we go. So you guys can see that. And then just wipe off the excess. Is that it? Okay. Just paper towel on this one and try to soak it up here. There we go. All right. And what is the next step? Okay, just set that off to the side and just let that air dry, basically.
That's it.
Okay, cool, cool.
The last is just to clean the frame there. Really, you're
Okay.
going to get residue on the arbor, maybe a little bit in here, but
You don't want to wash it like this, right? When you wash it, because it's going to push all that water and all that crud back in there. You kind of maybe hold it at an angle like that when you're using it, or what?
yeah, that
Okay.
would work out better.
What about the wood grips getting wet so people don't freak out if you get water on them and stuff? We're okay.
Dry them off right away.
Okay.
I mean, typically when I hold it, the grips don't get wet.
Okay.
But if you end up getting a little bit of water in there, it's not. You're not submersing it and leaving it submerged. You know what I mean?
And your grips have like a finish on them too. I mean, they've got like a, it's not raw wood that we have here. So, and just start scrubbing away.
Scrubbing away.
All right, so
Doing
we're gonna go
dishes
ahead and
again.
just run some hot water over it initially, and then just start scrubbing away like you're doing dishes, man. Just scrub all over the place.
Make sure you get the slot that's in the arbor too.
Oh, in here, right in here.
Yeah.
So you want to get in that slot right in there also. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I can't get in there. I'll have to kind of go this way.
Yeah. Okay.
Get some dish soap in there at least. So, okay.
Yeah.
Factory grease, I suppose. Now, what about getting behind the hammer and stuff? No, just let the hammer stay where it is. And that's it.
I mean, you could.
In
It's
there.
not going to hurt it. It's not going to hurt it either way.
Okay.
If you see that it's kind of filthy or something, just do your due diligence. But if
What about-
it's not too bad,
How about the rest of the brass? Does it matter, or scrub all that off too, or not?
yeah,
Go
just
over that?
real,
Okay.
yeah, real light.
Little right. Okay,
Really,
okay.
just base it off of how filthy it looks.
So the dirtiest part right here is back where the cylinder turns. That's pretty filthy right now. So that's going to need, yeah, okay. So we're going to take a little Q-tip for that and get that all cleaned off. So this area right here, you're going to notice a lot of buildup in here, right where your cylinder goes in, where the arm turns the cylinder essentially. So that's something you're going to want to work on with a Q-tip. I've got a lot of buildup right here towards the top too, so I'm going to scrub on that for a little while. There we go.
Yeah, actually, now that you say that, it's called a hand. Yeah.
The hand that turns the cylinder?
hand that turns,
Okay.
and there's
The hand that rocks the cradle?
There's ratcheting teeth on the back of the cylinder, and the hand grabs those teeth and spins it. Yep.
So I'm going to rinse this off, I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to work on all the little nooks and crannies and Q-tips and get all that residue out of there, and then we will come right back and we'll talk about the next step. All right, so when you get done, this is basically how it's going to look. All of your residue and stuff is going to be cleaned out of this area by the hand, this little part. Everything's nice and clean. You can take the Q-tip to it, and if no more grease comes off on it, you're good to go. You can do a full cock back, you said, and you can get in there and really scrub out. There was a lot of buildup right in this area in front of the hammer when I was doing it, but now it's nice and clean. There's just a little bit of staining on it, but that's normal on the brass, isn't it? You're going to see a little bit of just from fire and stuff from being shot, essentially.
And you could take it down all the way if you wanted to take all those little pieces out and all that other stuff, but I typically don't go that far, and I haven't had any issues.
Okay. You know what? I do have a little bit of buildup on these lugs right here, so I'm gonna go through those real quick. Okay, so we don't know if it was some manufacturing grease or cutting oil, but basically in between each of these threads of the arbor, okay, there was like a buildup, and I could run my fingernail through it and like this grease would come off on it. If it's not just shiny all the way through, then you need to keep scrubbing it with some hot soapy water. Real hot water will take it out of there, just so you know, it almost melts it out of there. I still have just a little tiny bit of grease back here, just a little tiny bit. That could just be some cutting oil, but for the most part, this is clean. It's ready to go. All right, so take us through the process of reassembly. What do I need to know?
All right, so it's on half cock.
Oh, it will be. Okay, there we go.
All right, slide the cylinder back on.
Okay. Now, do I need to put a little drop of ballast on there or something?
If you want to, you
let's,
can.
Let's do that as a preservative. So just one shot.
Yep, not a lot.
Okay, just kind of wipe it on a little bit.
Pretty much.
There we go. Go ahead and put the cylinder on.
All right.
Okay, now what?
All right. Should be able to.
I don't know if you guys can even see that. Okay, so put the cylinder on. I'm sitting right in front of it though.
There we go.
He's like, what is he doing? I don't know. I'm a beginner. Thumbs down. Okay, all right. Now what?
Yeah, and then just go ahead and slide that on.
Okay.
And should be able to line up the pieces.
Oh, no, it's gonna go. Oh, it's going. I gotta go in the center.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, right
All
here it'll line right up. Yep,
Okay,
and there you
clicks into
go.
place. All right.
And then you're gonna need your wedge. Yep, it's over there.
This, by the way, was just scrubbed off with hot soapy water. This is your wedge to reassemble it. Which side does this go in from?
That goes in from the other
And
side.
point it this way.
Yep, and there's a spring. There's a spring you have to depress on the wedge.
Yeah, this little tab right here, you're gonna want to squeeze that down, or you can kind of push up on it and push it in.
If it doesn't go through all the way, then tap it with the mallet.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this little tab right here, there we go. This little tab right here is basically going to be flush with the frame. So this passed inspection, it is reassembled, it is good to go. What do I need to know about handling it? Fingerprints, any kind of preservative for the outside of it at all? Any kind of oil or grease?
So for fingerprints and whatnot, just wipe it off with a rag, a cotton cloth, something like that.
Lint-free towel.
Microfiber towel,
Okay,
something like
okay,
that.
yeah.
As far as lubricating any of the moving parts, there are a few pivoted pieces and things like that. But it's, in my experience and my opinion, it's not like a modern gun where you're trying to lube a bunch of springs and pins and other things like that, slides and whatnot. And if you have too much oil on there, it could attract any of the black powder, something like that, while you're using it. So I would use a lubricant like Ballistol to the bare minimum, in my opinion. Somebody else might have a different opinion on that, but with these, as far as just preserving the outside, if you want to put a light coat of oil on it and then wipe it off when you went to the range, that would be more than fine. But really, fingerprint and stuff like that, you can just take off with a
Microfiber cloth, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's been the cleaning of the Pietta, again, what's it called?
This is the 1851 Navy. After you get a couple of these,
Yes,
you'll just start
yes.
rattling off
Okay,
names. Like,
okay, it's my first
by
black powder revolver,
by the
so,
time
all right.
you're rattling off the names on these, I'll finally know what all the Glock numbers mean.
There you go.
Yeah,
exactly.
So this is the 1851 Navy, but instead of being chambered in 36 caliber, which is a Navy caliber,
Yeah.
it's chambered in 44.
All right, guys, so this is Travis P11, and I'm here with
Squibload.
Squibload. You guys make sure you check out Squibload's channel. I'll put a link to his video or a link to his channel at the end of this video, and also a link to another one of his cleaning videos in this video. And we'll go from there. So I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe, keep your guns clean, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.